where we can be both early and late at the same time. This is Corey, and this is the O The Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob. It is 1:37 p.m. Pacific, which makes it 4:37 p.m. Eastern. And O The Anthem is live from coast to coast, broadcasting from the beautiful hashtag OTLA Studios, high above the 110 freeway in downtown Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to episode 211 of the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing all the things you do. Appreciated by us. Obviously, we are moving a little bit slower.
Wait. Make sure you join us on all our social networks. Facebook.com/O The Anthem, where you're watching us right now. And if you're watching this video, hey, make sure you turn on notifications so that you can come and join us live. We have the chat up so we can be chatting with you live during the show right now. We also have the listener line up. That's 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
That's 443-219-7595. And, of course, you can follow O The Anthem on Twitter, Instagram, and Google+, all at O The Anthem. Okay.
So, for people who don't know why this episode's a little bit rockier than usual, in honor of the first April 20th in a Recreational, California, we decided that this would be a good time to come back to something that we had originally done in like episode 3 of the podcast, when Maryland had decriminalized marijuana.
Right, not legalized and definitely not recreational.
Right.
Just decriminalized.
We discussed marijuana laws in general.
Yes.
And we figured it would make for a more entertaining podcast for us to imbibe beforehand. So this is a special version.
So I guess the lesson here is that you may end up getting 2 of these a year. That because in a few weeks, Corey, we're going to do our annual Drinko de Mayo episode.
Yep.
And this is really a horrible idea. We're getting too old for this stuff.
I felt that way after the last Drinko de Mayo.
Yeah.
But before we get into exactly like weed laws and shit like that, we wanted to start with a little bit of SportsBall.
Ooh. Yeah, so
SportsBall.
As always, there's a lot of visual gags. If you want to get those, you want to make sure you check out the video. It's available at Facebook.
To be fair, the music plays during the audio podcast.
True.
So I feel like nobody's missing out on that part, which is my favorite part.
There is a nice splash, though. And you should really check that out.
Yeah.
All the videos are available at youtube.com/O The Anthem. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have content up there. You can check out all the past podcast episodes that are on video. You can also see the short film series that Corey did, the Genesis series. You can check out our web series, Heretics, all still available there. Check it out at youtube.com/O The Anthem.
Yeah, and getting into SportsBall,
Yes.
I'm starting to wonder if it was the best idea to keep the Capitals game on because
things are not going well.
Well, I mean, it's not that they're not going well.
2 minutes for interference.
Yeah, I mean, that part's not going well, but it's 2-2.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's proper for me in this current state to be watching something that raises my blood pressure as much as the Washington Capitals. Now, to be fair, since the last time we recorded,
yes,
they've tied the series up, brought it back to Washington, and Game 4, I know you didn't watch, but Game 4, they looked like the complete hockey team that they can be every so often.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the Orioles. Like every so often, everyone seems to be clicking at the same time, and you get a sense for what it could be like if it's done properly every time.
Every week, but it's never done that way. Yeah.
And the problem is that that's just a fleeting. Just everyone got lucky in one night, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything.
So I haven't really been watching the style of play. Are they doing better this game, or I mean, obviously not as good as Game 4, but are they doing better than they were earlier?
I mean, the first goal they gave up, they weren't really in position to defend it and put Holtby in a situation where he wasn't going to be able to properly get in space, but. I mean, overall, this is usual Capitals hockey. What changes is when they score 2 quick goals here.
Yeah.
And they're up 4-2, and you're just like, oh, okay. Third period, 17 minutes left.
We're good.
Up by 2. We can figure out a way to keep this from getting out of hand.
Nope.
And then fast forward to 5 minutes left in the third, and you're down by 1, and you're just like, how the fuck did my life turn around like this? What did I do to displease the gods, in which for them to show this upon me, the hockey gods?
And in that spirit, Corey, I feel like it's only appropriate that we talk about the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very popular amongst Capitals hockey. Or Capitals hockey fans.
So the sentiment here on the cup, as you can see, win a cup or kill me already.
Yes, please.
Because you get these reactions. You guys can see Corey sitting on screen, just not happy about the situation that he's watching on TV, trying not to pay attention to it, getting red in the face.
Trying to be like here in the show,
Yes.
but like when Rob's talking, I can like look away for a second, get a glimpse. But
If you are like Corey and you feel this way about the Capitals, make sure you grab your Win a Cup or Kill Me Already t-shirt. You can find those at the O The Anthem store at otheanthem.com. Hey, there I am again.
yay, Rob's back.
So we talked about the Capitals. Do you want to talk about the Orioles?
Yes. I had a tweet earlier this week that got a little bit popular with Orioles Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, not, I mean, like, I don't want to say I was sweeping the internets, but
Right.
it got many likes.
No, and you'll remember that Orioles Twitter is that secret underground Twitter that only people in Baltimore who properly spell Hun in a screenplay have access to. So Corey's a proud member of that club.
Yeah. I'm glad that you finally started changing that around, though. I
And,
feel like in the most recent screenplay I read, you have finally changed it from HUN.
It depends on who the character is and what I'm trying to do.
All right. So
Yeah.
the tweet.
Here we go.
So yes, this is depressing, Birdland, but entirely too early to panic. We need a solid 2 weeks of 7 p.m. start times and sweaterless affairs before we can say anything. No one is eliminated from the playoffs. Chill the fuck out. And basically my point with that is right now the Red Sox are like super hot. They've started off the
15-2,
season,
yeah?
yes, with a ridiculous record. The Astros look unbeatable. The Yankees feel like they're not there entirely, but rounding into form. Mm-hmm. It is too early to start drawing any comparisons about anything. In the normal course of regular mathematics, there are slumps in how baseball works.
Yeah.
DiMaggio went through slumps. The problem is when a lot of people go through slumps simultaneously is when it feels particularly hopeless. And I get that watching the Orioles is not as fun. They won last night, which is nice.
Mancini had a home run. Yeah.
Double. Two-run double.
Okay.
Bundy again pitched like an... Should we start using the word? I
No.
think there's like a...
Were you going to jinx the guy?
Well, no, I'm saying there's a dispute out there as to whether or not to call him the thing that he
He's
is
not.
pitching like.
No, he's not.
But again,
Yeah.
small sample size.
Yeah.
Because if at the end of the year I told you that Dylan Bundy had a 3.7 ERA for the season,
20 wins this year.
well, number one, you'd probably be like, I mean, 3.7 isn't terrible.
Yeah.
In baseball these days, it's not the worst. I mean, like, obviously I'd rather see him like in the 2s or the 1, but 3's not. Ubaldo was like a 6 and Tillman was like a 7. So being a 3 is better than what we've been dealing with recently.
Yeah.
I just feel like there are a lot of things that I could explain that make me not as worried about this team. Mm-hmm. And we've lost a couple close games. So we're not that far away from winning some of these games, and it'll be in the long run, I think we'll be okay. Somebody's going to just start, like, Davis is going to get hot and he is going to hit, 10 home runs in 15 days. And we're going to be like, oh my God, thank God for Chris Davis. Like we're just stupid people at the end of the day. We're so result based, like immediately.
Yeah, and if you heard Corey get distracted in the middle of that little spiel, that's because the Capitals just scored a goal. And
I continued talking without stopping at all and only gave a fist pump.
but you did shift, and you shifted directions. That's okay.
Oh,
God,
what
that's
a
crazy
goal.
Man.
What a goal.
Look at that. So you guys, make sure you go back to
Carlson.
4:46 p.m. when the Capitals game was on. Go back to Saturday and watch the game. It's a fantastic goal for all of you listening. I'm sure this is fantastic audio for people sitting in their cars who actually just do listen to the audio version of this.
Yeah.
You guys are not getting the full effect. I'm sorry. I feel bad. We're not doing a very good job on the...
But it's a different kind of show. Do you have any thoughts on the Orioles? Are you?
I haven't been. I'm excited to go in 2 weeks. We're gonna go watch games.
Yeah.
But there is occasions where I can catch a 7:05 Eastern start when I get home.
Yeah, like the end of it.
Yeah, but none of these games have I been able to watch. So it's hard to get into the season when they're playing so many. Like as I'm leaving for work, you're turning the game on.
Right.
Like all right. That's not even like. I can follow the games sometimes.
Like
but
that Detroit game, just as a point, we
Yeah.
lost that Detroit game.
Yeah.
Because of a non-Manny Machado walk-off home run.
Mm-hmm.
The Tigers player was named Machado too.
Yes.
I can't remember his first name though. Anywho, we came back. Sardinas hit a home run in the top of the ninth to tie it up, and that game could have easily been won. It just wasn't. And the old rule with baseball is you win 54, you lose 54. It's what you do with the other 54 that matter. And I'm just not. I don't have the time to concern myself with wins or losses in April.
Okay.
Like, all it means to me when we get to the end of April, really until we get to like Labor Day, is that the one, or Memorial Day?
Labor Day's September is Labor Day.
Oh, okay, what's Memorial Day?
That's May.
Yeah, Memorial Day is the usual one. I mix up the two of them. They're very easy to mix up. Rob's got the giggles.
Oh my god. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
until
I'm holding
Memorial
on to
Day,
my mic.
until Memorial Day, I don't really give a shit. All it means is how much of a advantage or disadvantage have you put yourself in by the state of your play up until that point. Are you just gonna nab it for the rest of the podcast?
I can't. I can't.
I'm just gonna have to Colin Cowherd this the rest of the way.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, just.
And who is that Russian? Alexander Ovechkin, the best hockey player in the world. Why do you not?
Asking questions that you answer as well.
Yeah. Just putting it out there, just looking at you like
Yeah.
splayed out on the desk.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get this together.
Yeah. Shall we start talking about
Yes.
marijuana laws?
All
Because
right.
that might engage you more.
Yeah. So, 4:20 is the time at which this podcast was supposed to start. It started a little late.
And technically early, too.
Yes. Also technically early because we were going to start.
So I guess we should set that up real quick, just because I feel bad.
Oh yeah.
We were supposed to go see a friend of the show, Roberto's new play
Yes.
this Sunday,
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
As we're recording this.
which is why we had made plans for the.
Oh, hang on a sec. Hey, Kent. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. I don't know how much you've heard. I just noticed your messages. Sorry. Go ahead.
God damn it! What was it? Oh,
Roberto's play on Sunday.
Roberto's play.
Yes.
We were gonna see it on Sunday. Then we found out that him and Katya, another friend of ours,
Yes.
are only going to be performing this Friday, an hour before before showtime.
Yeah.
When we got this message, and today at 4:20 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we had to make an executive decision so we could see both our friends in like their lead roles,
Yep.
like the ones that they're best suited for. So we pushed up the podcast, and then obviously started late because what the episode is about is
Marijuana laws.
marijuana laws. So things tend to run a little bit behind. And it's California. Really, for fuck's sake. 15 minutes is not late in California, and I love it. I love the fact that I can roll up somewhere 15 minutes late, and I'm just like, sorry, traffic. It's like, dude, don't even.
You're on time. It's fine. Yeah. Wait, what?
I just got here 30 seconds ago.
It's the late arriving LA crowd. Man, my throat is so dry.
Good planning on both drinking at the same time.
I saw you going for it, and I was like, I'm going to try and fill something. But anyway. Yeah.
Marijuana laws.
Bob,
So-
what were we just talking about? Oh, my God. All right.
By the way, here's one thing I do like about this. It gives such randomly different reactions sometimes.
Yeah.
Like in Denver, you didn't want to talk to the Uber driver.
No, I did not.
Yeah. You were like, you got to handle this. I can't do it. And then once we got back for the show, for people who don't know, we're talking about the Patreon exclusive bonus podcast.
Yes,
from
which
Denver.
was
on
from
our way
Denver.
back over.
Which, and if you're not aware, obviously Colorado, Washington, now California, are all states that have recreational
Nevada.
marijuana. Nevada now too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recreational marijuana. So we were there last year on our way out here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Finish the story. So,
And you were so worried. You were like, I can't talk. I have nothing. I can't even put words together.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh, all right, I'll talk to the Uber driver. And I talked to him on the way home. Then we got back to the hotel, and we had all the podcast stuff already set up. We sat down, and Laura was just going to ask us random questions about whatever.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to pontificate on them. And then as soon as there became a challenge to it, I felt like you came alive a little bit. You were just
I don't want to talk to the stranger in the Uber. I'll talk to all our fans and random people on the internet.
So let me put it this way. I think that the current state of marijuana regulation is complicated, and it is good and it is bad at the same exact time. Let's break it down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Rob, how would you say that the current state of marijuana legislation around the country is good?
Generally moving in the more open direction. For the first time, actually, since ever. Federally moving in that direction too, but state laws around the country are all generally moving in the direction of decriminalization and actually legalization to recreational use. I think four states.
I don't. How many states don't have medical?
I think.
I mean, like I know
12.
I know some states have Maryland used to have a very strict medical system where you would get it prescribed from your doctor if you were a cancer patient who couldn't eat or something like that. There was no dispensary to go to.
No.
It would be entirely handled at the hospital or something.
Not at the well, yeah. So
originally, at least.
No, your doctor could prescribe it, but you had to go to the University of Maryland Hospital Pharmacy.
Oh, okay, that's where they had it.
They were the only ones who dispensed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I couldn't go I can't sleep and have some guy write me.
No. It'd be like, hey, you're going to be dead in 6 months. This will make your last 6 months a little more tolerable.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Also, was it 96 that California passed the medical marijuana?
Probably. Maybe earlier than that.
I feel like 96 is the number that's sticking with me right now. But
but before that, it really wasn't a big deal either.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal, but it was. Now this was a way to bring the economy from the shadowy underbelly to more accepted. And it's one of the things I've always argued with Baltimore. I feel like if they would have just legalized marijuana 30 years ago, then there would be no underground. All the drug dealers who make money from heroin and cocaine start by selling pot.
Yeah.
And still make a large amount of their money selling pot.
Yeah.
And if I could go to a store at any point in my growing up in Baltimore and just go and pick up an ounce and then just leave or whatever, I don't know. It feels like that would have cut into real drug dealers' business models.
Yes. And it is the backbone of the rest of the underground economy. That is absolutely true. So the question is why? Why haven't more states moved in the direction of legalization?
Well, I still think there's a stigma that marijuana is bad for you.
Okay.
And I
unlike
think,
alcohol, its counterpart.
I think about this from time to time.
Flash joined us in the chat. Hi, Flash.
Hey,
Welcome
Flash.
to the show. Flash has her medical license in Massachusetts.
Oh, nice.
Which I think is...
I think Massachusetts is more on the liberal side. Can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
Flash.
they are. I think that they actually just did decriminalization of recreational as well.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Didn't they? They're going to start selling it, I think. She can...
Hopefully Flash joins in.
Yeah, she can tell us. Go ahead.
To me, let's just circle back. The good part of this, I feel like, is that there are people who marijuana helps in a medical sense. And
Flash says it's a gateway drug. Clearly, hugs, not drugs. Hey.
I think that it's complicated. So I like the fact that more people have access to it who feel like they need it. And there are more people who need it than I think most stodgy conservative people who live in the states where pot recreation is not going to be brought up anytime soon.
Yeah.
Is the thought that it's simply a thing to get somebody all weird and hazy and oh dude, what are we doing? Like Rob right now.
Rob right now.
But I mean, for some people,
it's actual medicine.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
So I remember there was something that I heard Dr. Drew say on a podcast that hit me in particular because I certainly felt this way. Mm-hmm. I have ADHD, and he said for people who have ADHD, marijuana is interesting because it doesn't hit you the same way that it does other people, normal people.
Normals, right?
It actually sort of balances the chemical imbalance that you feel naturally from the ADHD and sort of brings you back to normal.
Okay.
So he said, like, and sometimes with patients that I've talked to who have, like, couldn't find a medication, like Ritalin, Dexedrine, Adderall, any of those types of things. He said just like a hit or two of pot. Just enough to, like, let it hit your system, but not enough to, like, make you feel
like this.
make you feel like Rob.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he's seen a lot of positive steps in that regard. And I can agree. I think that, for me, what it does is it slows down my mind enough that I can actually think about the thing that I mean to be thinking of.
Yeah. So, flash updates. Massachusetts will soon, people in Massachusetts are soon going to be able to get it recreationally. However, she lives in an area that has a church on every street corner. So they're trying to block it on the local level. I think there's one of the things that couldn't be close to, a dispensary can't be close to a church or a school or
right
building of
it's like
public.
a porn or like a strip club where
basically.
you can't be around certain places.
Yeah. So I guess they could try to force them outside of town. Here's the thing, though. I think if they put the dispensary anywhere, just 4 miles outside of town, you can get there. That's okay.
Listen, it's thinking back upon my teenage and 20 years and stuff like that, and 20-year-old years. I would have very much appreciated if there was just a store somewhere where I could have gone to.
And how far would you have driven?
Anything. Well, not anything, but I mean, like, if you told me it was in D.C. or it was like right outside, like it's in Bethesda or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's the only place I could go, then I would just plan, like, okay, so after work on Wednesday, I'm going to drive down to Bethesda. I'm going to get, like a healthy amount, enough so that I don't have to drive down here
once a week.
Or less, if possible. But
Okay.
I'm saying, like, whatever would be legally allowed.
Yeah.
And whatever I needed.
2 ounces only. All right.
Yeah, like,
so that's going to be good for a couple days for Corey, and then he's going to have to go
that's
back.
not at all true. Moving on.
Sorry. Flashlight is they also tried to block CBD oil and flavored vape juice.
Yeah, I'm still out on vaping. I know that.
What do you mean you're out on vaping?
I mean, like, I know that smoking is not good.
Yes.
And it's probably way worse than anything else. But for whatever reason, I just feel that something about vaping didn't feel right to me in the way that I felt like it was going to have more or accelerated impacts than smoking would.
Why?
Because, like, it's like one of those things, like, I feel like if I told you that vaping, in 50 years from now, we find out that vaping speeds up the spread of cancer.
Yeah.
Would you recommend people do it? Like, if it would have been, like, 50 years to get cancer under cigarettes on average.
Yeah.
And it was 25 for vaping on average.
But
then
you're more likely to get cancer. But you're more likely to get cancer with the cigarettes. You're not more likely to get cancer.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, I feel like at the end of this thing, we're not going to find out that it's good either.
Well, yeah, but
not like that.
Is it
there's
going
so
to be
many
better?
people. There's so many people who've been saying things like, well, vaping's the way that you can smoke without smoking anymore, and then you
Right.
don't have to worry about any of the things, and it's 100% safe, and you never have to worry about
Well,
it.
but
And
people
all
are
I'm saying
stupid.
is, I don't think it's 100%
No,
safe.
but is it safer than putting a lit match next to your face and burning actual leaves?
No,
and inhaling the smoke?
No, probably not. But we also don't know yet, which is the problem here.
But can it be worse than inhaling the smoke of burning leaves?
Probably
Directly?
not. No.
Yeah. But
I feel very much like James Comey right now. I watched an interview with him and Jake Taffer.
Yes.
And he was just very like, I'm going to lean towards no and stuff like that. And I'm just like, just give me a fucking yes or no.
Yes.
Like,
Yes or no
because he's
answers.
like, because he in his FBI director brain, it's like 85% sure. He's just gonna be like, I'm going to lean towards yes on that. I'm just like, come on, dude. For anybody else, 85% is like, yes, absolutely, sure, I guess so. But
nonetheless, vaping is better than cigarettes.
so
it
as
doesn't
far as we
matter.
know,
But what could be worse? There are 4 ingredients. They're all natural. It's all things that you take into your body anyway. So how is vaping worse than the 1,000 known carcinogens that are in the burning leaves that you inhale the smoke of?
yeah, I get you.
Come on!
What?
It's going to be even. Listen, I'm not saying it's safe. Is it going to be safer than cigarettes? Yes.
Probably, yes. More than likely, yes. The preponderance of the evidence says yes.
Listen, Comey. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Not going to get a straight answer.
Yeah.
All right. So we got way off topic.
Moving on. Did you see
wait.
any naked pictures of the president? I didn't, but I've heard of people who have.
And I would not want to. Not at all. Flash says, here, if you have your license, you can bring anyone to the dispensary. That seems like a weird rule.
Oh, really? Like, if I'm just visiting out of town, I could come with you, Flash?
I would think that would. We're not going to.
Not that I'm offering that I'm going to stay at your place or anything like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But
not like I'm
like in California, you couldn't take anybody to the dispensary with you. Everyone who was inside the building had to have a prescription. Right.
If you go okay, so
not recreational places.
Yeah. Let me set up how California
Let's
works
talk about
right
California.
now.
Yeah.
Since this is where we live now.
Yes.
96, I think it was. They did medical marijuana. It was very popular. It opened up many dispensaries all up and down California's coast. It is essentially like they're regulated in the sense that there's only so many that are out there. There's a lot of illegal shops that you don't know about that don't have like all the proper licensing, but still are allowed to sell.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Vern Troyer died.
Oh.
At 49.
Oh, that's sad.
Man. Sorry.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Sorry, here I am. Breaking news. Vern Troyer dead at 49 today. Sorry, go ahead.
You can put the breaking news tag on YouTube now. It's great. But now it's essentially there's medicinal places and there's recreational places, and there's going to be a way for the medical places to move to the recreational system. Some of them already have without like doing the proper things, I think, but nobody really knows the law. So it's a lot of people like trying to figure out like what the hell is going on here and just hoping that they don't all get arrested at the same time. It's very California is one of those states where if they write a bill, it could have been 2 pages long.
Yeah.
And it could have just been the facts, and it could have sort of stated that like we're going to be more accepting of infractions if this law is broken, because we all understand we're learning on the like it could
make it as vague as possible.
Make it as vague as possible and make it clear that we're not going to just start trying to pick off people here for not following the rules 100%.
Yeah. We'll make them up as we go along.
California instead writes like 700 long page bills where it's just like, if on Wednesday, February 13th, 2029 at approximately, it's just like, no, none of this is important. Just write a regulation and just let people follow with it. I think that's California's real problem, if we're going to boil it down to one thing, is paperwork.
Yes.
They have a love for paperwork and bureaucracy, and it's all got to go through like channels, and
it's going to make Cal exit so much easier because we already have our own laws.
I agree. This government can basically run itself.
Yeah. Which, by the way, there was another push for a new Cal exit. Was that story this week? I feel like it was.
Don't believe the hype.
Cal exit. Come on. Let's do it. 2018.
See, to me, much like marijuana has very shaded laws here,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Cal Exit has very shaded directions as well. There's the break up California into 4 states idea, or 3 states. There's all kinds of different proposals. There's a 2-state solution, not to confuse it with the 2-state solution, but there's a 2-state solution.
The new one is the 3-state solution.
Yeah.
Though. And by the way, how big is
LA would be in California?
No.
Like New California or something
New California.
Like that. Yeah.
And then the Orange County area out towards Vegas is South California.
Yeah. And then encapsulates like San Diego and stuff like that.
And then the Bay Area and North is North California.
Yeah.
So California.
I mean, way more. Northern California, though, logistically speaks like 2 hours north of LA, I guess.
Yeah. It's very close. But so this is the ironic thing, is that you could take California and break it up into these 3 states, and then it produces the 3rd, the 5th, and the 8th
largest states. Yeah.
And the 9th and 10th
on population.
Yeah. And the 9th and the 10th and 11th by per capita or something like that.
Yeah.
Something also huge, like pretty good by per capita. So, like, that's the kind of size of state that you're dealing with. And I thought you made an interesting proposition when I brought that up, which was, why don't we exit as a country and then just create our own states within California?
I mean, like, to me, so California's problem is that it's got to be all gregarious, or not gregarious. What's the word?
Contiguous.
Contiguous. Is
All
that
together? Is that what you meant?
Well, so like California is way different. LA is way different from Lancaster, California.
Oh, it's heterogeneous.
Is that the one I'm looking for?
That means diverse.
I didn't even mean it like that. I meant like where they have to write laws where they're factoring everybody in.
Okay.
And the U.S. has to do that to an extent, but at the end of the day, a lot of decisions about how certain states are going to handle things are handled at the state level.
Yeah.
So Alabama is pretty much all Alabama. Like every part of Alabama is pretty much the same, unless you go to like Birmingham or something like that. But generally speaking,
some racist stuff, man.
I'm saying Alabama doesn't sway too much from the median.
Okay.
But California does.
Yes.
There is not two people in California who are exactly alike, especially when you consider that so many people from around the globe come to California.
Yeah.
And that is just a lot of different people that Alabama never has to worry about, like if 50,000 people in Birmingham being Chinese, you know, like not the same way that California does. And therefore they don't have to worry about issues of, like what it's like for Chinese Americans or something like that.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. But they also don't have to worry about farmers or people who are multi-billionaires who work in Silicon Valley or anything.
Or city jobs and
county jobs.
And like the farm jobs and like the middle and industry.
Yeah.
And, Alabama doesn't have a huge car
Right.
industry. Like it's a very diverse economy. So they have to make laws that apply to everything, not just Tim Joe down at the old filling station.
Right, exactly.
I don't know who Tim Joe is.
It's just a random person who lives in Alabama, I assume.
I assume that Tim Joe sounds like somebody from Alabama. Yeah. Timothy Joseph.
Oh, good old Tim Joe.
Oh, gosh.
He didn't mean it when he was looking at you.
I want to catch up on the chat here. Flash says they have a blow-up mattress, Corey.
Oh, very nice. Thank you.
It goes in threes. I think that was referring to Vern Troyer, and I'm wondering if you're grouping Barbara Bush and Vern Troyer into that set of three.
It's a tough pull. It's a tough pull. Arlie Ermy, Barbara Bush, and Vern Troyer.
Whew, gosh.
I feel like it's been more, though, than three. I mean, I feel like we're on our third at this point.
Yeah, I think there was three, and then it rolled over to
because we talked about Mitzi Shore.
Yeah.
We talked about we talked about Barbara Bush in last week's.
Yes, we did. So that was
and then there was one other person that we talked about, but I can't remember who it is.
Was it Arlie Ermy?
Yeah. Oh, it was Ermy. Yeah.
So Vern is now starting a second three, I suppose.
But I feel like there's other dead people that maybe we just didn't talk about.
Well, I mean, theoretically,
like the guy from Night Court died.
Yeah, Harry
Anderson.
Yeah.
He will be missed.
But it's people. There 40,000 people die every minute. Like it's not that big a deal.
That's a great way to transfer over to another conversation as we talk.
I don't even remember. Oh, things dying.
Well, more specifically, I guess there are.
By the way, time check. We are 35 minutes in.
Yeah.
I was feeling like it was gonna be like an hour and 15, and I'm like, oh, 35 minutes.
It's like when you get to work and you're like right into it and you're just going away and you're just like,
oh, it's gonna be lunch already.
Oh God, I'm hungry. Is it lunchtime? It's like 8:30 and you're like, what the fuck, dude? I've been killing myself for an hour now. And there's 4 hours and it's only been half an hour.
All right. Go ahead.
Pull it together. Pull it together.
Pull it together.
Keep it together. Keep it together. Keep it together. I like Bowfinger. Starting to get off the rails. Anywho.
Yes.
Speaking about deaths, I would like to point two different my ire in two different ways with pot laws. First of all, I think it's still the case that nobody has died from like regular pot.
No, I don't think anybody's died from pot at all.
Yeah. I'm saying like I haven't checked the stats recently, so I don't know.
So we got a Snapchat from someone watching the podcast whose message is, watching your stoned ass trying not to giggle is adorable. Yeah.
I like to think
Can
that
you tell that I'm trying to not giggle because I'm basically just giggling the whole time. Oy. Oy.
I like that. I like that. I like this side of you from time to time. He's gonna take a nap though, right after this.
I'm gonna have to because I have to pull it together and go to the play. So
I still think we
PSO.
should see Super Troopers tonight.
And it's gonna be so packed. Let's go tomorrow. We should
Okay,
go tomorrow.
fine.
No, I'm not gonna be.
I don't think we got anything going on tomorrow.
Yeah, but we can't. I can't get high tomorrow and go do it because then I have work and shit on Monday.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I jokingly told my employees at like 5:40, I sent a message out on Slack. Good Lord. I sent a message out on Slack to the entire company that was like...
Didn't I say something about 17 minutes into the third as well? Yeah.
I sent a message out to everybody on Slack and said, hey, just as a reminder, due to the change in safety and regulatory insurance policies for the company, the new handbook and drug testing policy will go into effect on Monday. And then I just watched everybody be like, what? Like, looking across at each other.
Yeah.
Like, do you know about this? Is this a thing? And then I like followed up with like, so we're gonna choose 10 random people just be there, and they're like, okay, that's funny, yeah. And then my boss went to the weed shop. He came back. So
He's just like, all right, well, I'm going to the dispensary.
yeah. So, anyway, you had a point about things dying. And I stepped on your transition. What do you?
Oh, it's fine. I was just basically saying that nobody has died from pot.
Yes.
Is the number one thing, which we can't say about alcohol or smoking or
certainly not smoking,
cocaine or heroin or any other of the known drugs.
Yeah.
Like pretty much every one of them has a death count to them.
Yes.
And marijuana has none. I mean, unless you just like you were going to have a heart attack at some point or another, you getting high did not help things.
Sure.
But
and
like
then you ate a lot of cheeseburgers when you were high, and
yeah,
that
and then that just happened. It's not like the pot is responsible for that. You were going to have the heart attack probably, regardless of the pot.
Yes.
The thing that really bothers me, I guess, the most with marijuana laws right now is that we have disenfranchised an entire multiple generations of black youths in the cities who have been arrested on some sort of bullshit drug charge and are now in prison or cannot get good jobs because they have a record. Or
I was thinking about that. I saw.
I think it's ridiculous that this largely white industry of legalized marijuana has it. I feel like what some of these corporations have done to black people in general has been just as bad as like the second act of like sort of racism against the Japanese in World War II and stuff like that. Like it's like it's another sick turn in like how bad we can be to people or Native Americans.
Yeah, I saw a interesting comic this week. Not comic, but like political cartoon, and it was just basically like a guy in jail reading the newspaper, and like the newspaper said, marijuana now legalized, but it's a black guy in a prison jumpsuit, and he's like clearly in prison.
Yeah,
and it's like scratching on the wall, like 8 more years to go.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh great, but I mean, I think California is doing you can apply for early release and stuff now.
I think that's the case. I don't know exactly, again, because California is so ridiculous. Like the actual process of doing it is going to take forever.
Sure.
But I think they've expressed that they're going to do that. Release people and clear their records if they have a minor drug charge.
Well, and here's the thing.
Or a pot related charge.
Wait, why are we only doing minor stuff? Shouldn't we have the guys who were formerly running a distribution company? A distribution and
see, it all depends. I mean, like I feel like if you looked at take The Wire, just because it's like a situation where we can examine characters, right? D'Angelo shot somebody, killed somebody. Like his relation to the drug trade ended with bodies. So I feel like regardless of whether or not the bodies were because of the drug trade, he should do some form of jail time.
Yeah.
People who don't have bodies, people who are just like runners in drug operations, or like somebody who held something for somebody else or anything like that. Like I think all those should just be gone.
But again,
for pot,
the likelihood is that that if you are running a distribution network, you probably do have ordered some kind of killing or
that's
something.
the problem. Like,
Yeah, so I guess that's where it
we
falls
shouldn't
out.
just openly release everybody who has drug conviction, because some of these drug convictions are, El Chapo. But I'm saying, like, we shouldn't.
But why can't they convict him on something else then? Because it isn't the guy who is in jail on.
I agree, but I'm saying, like, because of extenuating circumstances, you have to take it more. If the drugs is what keeps you holding El Chapo in, kind of thing, then by all means charge him for the drugs, because you're gonna eventually get all the evidence you need on the murders or the harassment or the whatever that is going to eventually put him away for the rest of his life. But if the charge is drugs and that's all you can get, then
I guess you take it.
Yeah.
Even though. All right. Well, comment from the chat real quick. Hubby was arrested for pot less than an ounce, which I transfer that amount once a week for myself. But it was 10 years ago, so he served time. And I think that was kind of where we got started on this, was when we did an episode 3 4 years ago about weed laws, how different things were then.
Yeah.
Like even then, California was not, it was very loose medical, but not recreational. And I think Colorado and Washington was, but Colorado wasn't, or was it the other way around? Who was the first one? Washington was the first one.
Colorado was the first.
And I think Washington was the first to pass it, but
I think I don't remember the exact details.
one of them, whoever the first one was.
Decriminalization was in Washington first,
Okay.
and then recreational was in Colorado first.
Maybe. Either way, the one who had recreational set up had just done that, and we were talking about how Maryland made this good step, but that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And Maryland never got a medical infrastructure set up. Now they're moving towards, I guess, dispensary style. I think they changed the law now, right? Because it's not just at the University of Maryland. You can actually just go to a dispensary and get it.
Yeah, I think you were talking about somewhere in the Eastern Shore has it.
Well, so they're doing a grow house in Easton.
Oh, okay.
The old Black & Decker plant is going to be a grow house.
Gotcha.
Which turns out, if you want to grow a lot of marijuana, all of these empty industry buildings that you have are really good for that.
Right.
So Black & Decker leaves, or like GMC leaves, let's use that building and grow some pot in it.
Well, also, I don't know how it is around the country, but I can't imagine that California is the most conservative on this issue. But pretty much every single dispensary is, you know what it is, but you don't know what it is. If I had a kid, I wouldn't have to, and I'm visiting Los Angeles, and I'm walking down Hollywood Boulevard. Well, it's not on Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah. But if I'm like walking down Sunset, I wouldn't have to worry my kid going like, "What's that, Daddy? What's Zen House, Daddy?" Like, it's not like there's like any kind of like, it's not like it's so ridiculous or like it's Cheech and Chong on the outside of buildings or anything like that, I guess is the point. Like,
yeah, it's not, I guess Cheech and Chong are the great, there's not a big poster of Cheech and Chong on the outside.
Right.
Come on in, guys.
Come in and get high or anything like that. It's all very, I mean, it still has to like.
Also, you can't consume it there.
Yeah.
So that's a level of like.
And you can't consume it publicly.
In the parking lot or wherever.
Right.
Yeah. So.
You can go home and consume it, assuming that your apartment allows for smoking.
Yeah.
Or if there's like you can smoke on the balcony or something like that. But I know there's a lot of places that are completely smoke free in LA. Yeah. And that's 100% smoke free. If you there's no sneaking a joint somewhere because somebody will call the cops on you. And for those people,
not call the cops anymore.
What?
Not call the cops anymore.
Well, I mean, you call building security, and then building security would call the cops.
For what?
For the weed smell?
Yeah, but weed's legal now.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, it's a non-smoking building, so they would have to, like, intervene.
They would get a citation.
Yeah.
I hate people. Stop calling the cops. Didn't we say that last week? Stop calling the cops. Don't call the cops.
Don't do it. There's no point. If somebody hit you and ran, and you just need an insurance report or a police report for your insurance, call the cops.
Then call them. Yeah, that's about it.
If your bike is stolen, call the cops. Just let them know. Just put it in the system. You know, if somebody is actively in your house trying to kill you, call the cops.
Sure. Yeah. Seems like a good reason. Unless you have a gun yourself.
Well, I mean, like, just, you know, if you feel the cops need to be known of the situation, feel free to call them. But if it's somebody's walking outside listening to headphones and it's too late for somebody to be walking, don't call the cops. If somebody's smoking in your building and it's supposed to be a non-smoking building, don't call the cops. Just don't do it.
If that guy's been sitting in Starbucks for the last 20 minutes and he hasn't ordered anything, don't call the cops. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know how we got off on that again.
We keep doing this. I knew we were going to do this.
All right. Sorry, another update from the chat. In Massachusetts, you can have 12 plants without a license. You can't sell, but you can gift it. That's that same legal fallacy that DC has, where you can't sell, but you can gift it. So I buy a $40 sticker, and then you gift me some marijuana.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, in the weed vernacular here,
Yes.
you're not buying anything. You're making a donation.
Yes.
So I'm donating $100 to your shop, and in exchange for that $100 donation, you are going to give me a certain amount of marijuana.
Jesus, this is so ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
It can't just be here's. I would like to buy.
I'd like to buy
buy
some
Maui
marijuanas.
Wowie and then just put some money down on the table.
Well, by the way, that would also allow me to use my debit card, because who the fuck carries cash? Who carries that much cash?
That's an annoying part of and the most annoying part about it is how bad this whole federal system has been operated for its entirety.
Yes.
Because I am having to stop to go get cash because I'm worried that if I put my credit card on their file
it's gonna turn
and they get raided, and then somebody's going to come by my door and bother me. And I know it's all like medicinal and recreational in California, and I never hear about this shit happening, and I don't need to worry about it anymore.
To a shop, yes, but not to a person who.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it shouldn't be the type of thing that I have to worry about.
But
like,
you're also on
it's like one of those
lists.
things. Like if I go to a bodega and it looks like their credit card machine is not secure, and that their credit card numbers are getting picked off left and right.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, I'm probably just gonna pay for cash with this. Like, I'm gonna get my soda with cash. Like, I'm not gonna do the credit card here.
Probably better.
Yeah, it's the same sort of logic that I have at the pod shop. So I'm just like, I could, but I'm not.
We are moving in the direction that maybe they'll be able to start taking credit cards and not worry, because Jeff Sessions actually is talking about not moving towards legalization. That will never happen. He will fight that till the day he dies. But he might step down, because if Trump fires Rosenstein, you with me?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
If Trump fires Rosenstein,
Holtby with just a gorgeous save, just picking the ball out, or pucking the puck out.
If Trump fires Rosenstein,
then Sessions is going to quit too.
Sessions is saying he's going to quit too.
Yeah.
So we might get rid of Sessions. Maybe there's a good thing there. But also Chuck Schumer over in the Senate he's a Senate
minority leader. Yeah,
minority leader, ranking member.
Big notorious tough guy, Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, who has, by the way, been vocally anti-pot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Democrat and he's from New York, but he's vocally anti-pot. But he's now changed his tune and said, you know what? I think we should start moving. It's not something I would do. And I think during that interview, they actually asked him, like, have you ever had a marijuana experience? And he's like, no, it's just not my thing. It's nothing I'm interested in. But I have been changed my mind about someone else seeking out that experience.
It shouldn't have taken this long to change your mind.
No, but I mean, he's an old guy. So what do you want? By the way,
I want entirely new. I feel like a senator.
I want that too.
I feel like a senator from New York should be some 40-year-old guy who used to be a plumber and now he's a senator, and he lives in a little like townhouse in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That got passed on to him from his father when his father died.
Not rich Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, not money deep Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
It should just be the guy named Joey who sits on the. He still does all his speech, all his proclamations in the Senate from like his seat.
Yeah.
He's just like leaning back with like a tall boy.
Mr. Speaker.
He's just like, this shit is ridiculous. Why are we talking about pot still? Just make it legal already. Fuck, come on, man.
Will the gentleman from New York please rise if he's going to address the gallery?
You rise and kiss my asshole.
That's a New York senator.
Yeah, that's the New York senator I want.
Although, I mean, basically, they had a senator like that for a couple of years. Hillary Clinton was a senator from New York.
By the way, I didn't want to make a big thing about this, but there's obviously the Comey book coming out, or out right now.
Yes.
And apparently there's this reporter who wrote a book. She's been following Clinton for like 10 years or something like that. And there was like two different stories that I saw where Hillary Clinton like looked at staff and was just like, how many conversations are we going to have about people don't like me? Or like her quote apparently like right after she found out that she lost the election was they were never gonna let me have it.
Well,
and it's just like those are like really like insightful moments from her. But it's
I like the one about the how many conversations are we gonna have about people don't like me. I mean
because
later,
it was some pollsters who were just coming up to her for like, you know, the second time for every week of her entire life going like, people really just don't like you for whatever. It's like, I'm aware. 50% of the country just hates me for no reason, and there's nothing I can do to bring them back. I get it.
75% of the country hates me. Half of the Republicans and the 25% of the Democrats.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's 75% of the country hates me, but I'm going to try and squeak out a win here.
By the way, I love the meme. I can't remember the name of the comedian. He's got a new show, but the meme is like him shooting the dead guy.
Oh, Eric Andre.
Yeah.
And he's shooting Cannibal Buress, by the way.
Oh, is he?
That's Cannibal Buress, who is the co-host of his show.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's good.
But I'm saying I love the
Eric
meme.
Andre.
There was a like him as Hillary and like the dead body is Bernie.
Yeah.
It's just like, why would the Russians do this?
All right.
Yeah.
We've gotten somewhat off topic.
Yeah.
But we're at 53 minutes. We did it. We did it, folks. We pulled it together.
We got more than 5 minutes into the show. It's a success.
Another update from the chat. Flash says, maybe you should stop smoking because of the paranoia. But usually he's not high. He's on his way to go get stuff from the dispensary. So, you know.
You know what? I don't think it's paranoia. I just think it's that, like, I've lived in a world where it felt like pot was going to become legalized in some fashion or another for a while.
Yeah.
And then as soon as people got their hopes up, like something worse came along.
Yeah.
So like I feel like, especially with Sessions as the Attorney General, I can't trust anything. So until I see, you know, the president and Abe of Japan like sitting out on the Truman balcony smoking a joint together, I'm not going to feel confident enough to like not talk about shit on the phone.
Yeah.
Buy cash, everything. Like,
Do you have anything, Corey? I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, weed, marijuana. Do you have anything?
Marijuana is horrible.
What the fuck are you doing? Anyway, update from
the chat.
From the chat. You've been hanging out with Rob too long. His paranoia probably comes from that, but maybe it's a good reason because if it matched up with the like talking about pot on the phone, he's already on these very short list of other, you know, ATF, FBI, person of interest lists. So he's got to be careful.
Yeah, I don't want all my business out there because then they arrest me for the drug charge and they try and find evidence of the other ones. And that's how I get held.
Bodies. All the bodies. Adnan Syed.
I ain't dumb.
Flash also said, you think Obama didn't. So the Truman balcony is the big main balcony you think about when you think about the image of the White House. So I'm guessing that Obama didn't smoke a joint out there. But infamously...
I mean, like, I feel like if I was elected president, though, I would do it at least once.
I don't think you're supposed to be seen as being, you know, like, intoxicated.
I know it, but I mean, like, Nixon was drunk all the time and nobody really stopped him.
Yeah, but, you know, he was 1970s drunk, which is just like... It's different. It's Don Draper drunk.
Yeah. This is business drunk.
Good. Business drunk. Good. It's like regular drunk, but you can drive. I am clearly business high right now, so that's fine. Anyway,
you can't drive.
I cannot drive. What were we talking about before? Oh, the Truman balcony. So so no president would smoke on the Truman balcony, but infamously, country star smokes a lot of pot.
Oh, Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson did go sneak up onto the roof and smoke a joint because although it looks like there's a small parapet, it's actually really a deep roof.
Oh,
and then there's like a little ledge that the Secret Service walks around. So there's these little spots that you can just like pop up onto the roof and sit in like a hole.
I wonder.
He apparently went up there and smoked.
I would love to be Willie Nelson or Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
I feel like because at those situations, like where everybody else, no matter how like they don't think that, like, if you're at a concert, you're not worried about like a police officer harassing you about smoking a joint.
Yeah.
If you're doing it like on the street, but you're being low key about it, you're not necessarily worried about it. But like Snoop Dogg and Willie Nelson could probably just smoke pot anywhere.
Yeah.
And people are just like, they're going to do it, so I ain't going to stop them. Like,
What do you want
Willie
me to
Nelson
do?
could just like walk into LAPD and just be like, hello, boys. And just like, it's just like, yeah, sure. Walk into Jeff Sessions' auction. It's like, do you want me to play you a song, Jeff? It's just like, I love your music, Willie. Go ahead.
All right.
It's just like, I ain't going to tell anybody. It's fine. I was a highway man. Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Willie Nelson high playing Wonderwall.
I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. I was trying to Woody it up or Willie it up there a little bit.
All right, so we are very distracted. We are at 57 minutes, people. We have almost made it to the full hour. I can't believe it. Last topic, off the top. Movie Pass. Corey.
Oh, yes.
You are right. It looks like you may be right. Movie Pass loses $150 million in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Not great. And they have reduced the quality of their plans, not for those who already have it,
but for new people.
Yeah, new people get a worse plan, but we get our same plan. So.
I heard that you can still buy the plan that we have.
Okay.
The thing is that the iHeartRadio bundle has a 4-movie limit.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you're paying $10 for iHeartRadio and Movie Pass, but it limits your number of movies to 4 a month.
I gotcha. Okay.
And I mean, you could see 4 days in a row if you wanted to, but you're only limited to 4.
Right. Okay.
It's not like one a week, I don't think.
And that is not what we would want because we watch far more movies than that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, so
we do need to make moves on it.
I would like to just touching on Movie Pass a little bit here. I feel like you had to know this was going to be what happened because if you're an investor in this, and I said, I'm going to lose a lot of money for a long time. By the way, it's not an unusual thing to say to an investor.
Yes.
You have to set up, this is a very high-risk investment, and I'm going to lose money before I'm going to make it. Health clubs, famously, are bastions for losing money, which is why you'll see people start health clubs to launder money.
Oh, because you can hide the losses.
Yeah, you can hide the losses, especially when you first open, because everyone signs up, and MoviePass famously talked about themselves in the same sort of business as a fitness club. Yeah. Where basically they knew that a lot of people were going to sign up and go see a lot of movies, and then eventually they're going to taper off. So, yes, they were going to have a huge number loss in their first quarter based off of the analytics firm that put this together. By the way, not official, but it seems official enough based off of industry data that they've been able to surmise.
Yeah.
That it is a loss in the area of $150 million or $150.8 million, I think specifically.
It's a lot of money.
It's tough if you're an investor to hear you've just lost $150 million and say they can lose more.
Yeah.
But we're going to make money eventually.
It's playing the long game.
There's a part of it. It's a big number to hear, and therefore you imagine that investors could be rattled. But I imagine that the investors that MoviePass got, they all said to them, listen, we might lose $750 million before we start turning a profit.
Yeah. But
keep in mind that at one point, by the time we turn a profit, we should be good for the long run. And it's just a matter of getting there. Do we have enough runway to get there?
Here's my question, though. It's that I think a big part of their plan was the data. And then this whole Cambridge Analytica thing happened, and now they're having to pledge that they're not going to sell the data. So do you think that that was not a part of the plan? Like, again, I think that their whole model was built around eventually becoming salient with people not using it, but being able to sell the data.
I think how this makes their life more complicated is that they are, by saying they're not going to sell the data, but they would rather be the gatekeepers of the data. Yeah. This is famously how Facebook has gotten around getting all your data, but not feeling like they're... Cambridge Analytica was a break from people being able to get Facebook data.
Yeah.
MoviePass is going to probably have to do something similarly where, much like Yelp, they're going to have to just have people who work in a call center and call businesses all day and say, hey, I happen to notice that you're next to a movie theater.
Yeah.
We know that a lot of people like to go to your competitor, Ruby Tuesdays, across the street. And we think if you work out a deal with us where you pay us a certain amount of money, we're going to email blast all our customers. We're going to put it in the app. Hey, if you, after your movie, for $50, we will give you 2 appetizers, 2 meals, 2 drinks, like the whole thing. Deal. Like we're gonna package in this night at Applebee's or whatever.
Bring your movie stubs.
Yeah.
Get your 2 for $50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then people are gonna go like, oh wow, oh my god, yeah, I could do that, and that's how they eventually get positive on money. Or to say to movie investors like, hey, we have all this information based off of how people like movies and what they go to see and when they go to see it, and we can be consultants with you on the information.
I think though that involves in a way selling the information, which they have now pledged that they won't do.
If they anonymize the data, then they're not selling anybody's particular information. This is exactly what Facebook said. They said we're never going to sell your specific data.
But did.
Didn't. I mean, didn't.
They gave it to the first people.
They gave it under honest pretext.
Yeah.
And then never followed up, which is bad.
Yes.
I don't think that anybody felt bad about Facebook giving the information for a Scholastic enterprise.
Right.
The thing that they were upset about was how the Scholastic enterprise then was able to so easily give the Facebook data to a non-Scholastic enterprise.
Who monetized it.
Right. And that Facebook wasn't on top of it enough, because if they knew, number one, if more people were in charge of like okaying Facebook's decision to sell or to give information to a Scholastic enterprise and knowing like exactly what it is, where it's going to be, who's going to be handling it, or like, can you come to our campus and view this information?
Yeah. Well, as we said, luckily the Koch Foundation is going to be in charge of that from now on out. So I think that we'll have that situation handled. But
I feel like just getting back to pot for just half a second.
Yes.
In Los Angeles, the effective tax rate of recreational marijuana is 34%.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the problem is that much like smokers, pot, how would I call them?
Users?
Pot users,
consumers,
people who are pro-pot,
yes,
have been saying to themselves, we're willing to give up this to be able to get pot.
I'll pay 34%.
I will pay 30% and we can give it all to the schools and I don't care. Just give me my pot. Just make it legal. And then the government just lets you continue to go along like, oh, we ain't going to legalize it. We ain't going to legalize it. It's just like, please, we'll do 40%. It's like, no, it's not.
No.
You're going in wanting the car in particular that's in the window.
The salesman gotcha.
You walked in, you said, I want that yellow Corvette. And it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, that yellow Corvette's $200,000. It's like, but I want it. It's just like, yeah, but it's $200,000. It's like, I'll give you $150,000. No, it's $200,000.
Yeah.
And then eventually, 5 hours later, you're in the office going like, come on, man, I'll give you $250,000 for that car. Just give it to me already.
How did I get into this situation?
How did I do this?
Yes.
Anyway, how come so many people got arrested for doing the same exact thing I was trying to do, but they're all black? And
okay. The good news is,
and why is Chuck Schumer making money off of this? Why is John Boehner making money off of this?
Yes. Now
that
white men can profit, now we move in the right direction.
Why is Philip Morris making profit off of this?
My eyes do not look nearly as crystal blue. I feel like this could be
a dulling effect.
Yes.
Should we wrap it up? It feels like you're...
I was saying, good news.
We made it to an hour.
1 hour and 5 minutes in, people. Congratulations. We've made it.
You got way more than I expected.
I am barely awake. I am literally just going to lean right on my pillow-like microphone.
Hold on.
And go to sleep.
We're almost done.
Okay.
Talking about just barely getting expectations done.
Yes.
OTheAnthem.com. Corey to OTheAnthem.com. O The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the listener line 443-219-7595.
What's the number again?
443-219-7595. And you can find more of me at my website, CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com, my Facebook page, Corey Baker Film, and at LegendsCB5 on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And you can find Rob.
Hey, guys. So,
Hey. So nice of you to join me.
and of course, you can find me on all your social networks at Robert N. Cheek.
Mm-hmm.
It's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Tumblr, everywhere at Robert N. Cheek. Make sure you check out robertncheek.com where you can find links to my political blog, the news website, and the books, which are available on Amazon.
Buy Rob's books.
And of course, make sure you check out patreon.com/Robert N. Cheek. It is National Poetry Month, and I've been trying to write a poem a day for all of the supporters there. It's exclusively for Patreon supporters. Yes. So for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to not only all of the poems, but you can also get the unheard or unseen screenplays, a whole bunch of other content, videos, early access to a lot of stuff. So make sure you check that out. So that's Patreon, patreon.com/Robert N. Cheek.
Well, I think we've done good here today. Nope.
Nope.
Nap
We've
time
done
for Robbie
something.
boy.
I don't know if it's good. But as always,
It looks like the Caps game is going to go to overtime yet again in the series.
Of course. But as always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem digital network. For Corey, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody.
Smoke weed every day.
Wait. All right, wait. You got to tell me when you're doing that. Hang on.
Did he stop it?
No. Here we go. All right. What's the line that comes before that? I feel like I should know this.
The last episode.
Uh,
Are we still rolling?
we are, because I want to set it up. I got this. Wait,
Oh.
I'm re-energized now.
No.
No, all right, so it's
Are we gonna have to go through the entirety of next episode?
Stop. So get ready for the next episode. Hey.
Smoke weed every day.